It's not been a pretty start to the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they sit with a 3-1 record heading into Week 6 of competition. They remain on the trade hunt to try to locate where they could potentially upgrade their roster. General Manager Omar Khan doesn't seem excited about the idea of giving away 2026 draft capital, which could lead to trade complications this year. As the season pushes closer to the trade deadline, the bottom of the standings teams will commit to selling off some of their assets. Those who opt to rebuild their roster will likely request draft picks in return, which is what Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox has outlined in recent speculation. The New Orleans Saints have a star receiver they could dangle at a high price. In his article, Knox speculated that the Saints might make star receiver Chris Olave available via trade, though acquiring him would likely come at a high cost for the Steelers. Knox listed Pittsburgh along with the New England Patriots as potential suitors for Olave's talents. Both teams have been searching for an upgrade to the receiver position, and acquiring a young talent like Olave would secure that. Trade price for Chris Olave might be too rich for the Pittsburgh Steelers to consider according to Knox's speculation. Olave could cost a conditional 2026 first-round pick to get in a potential trade. If New Orleans is willing to send their star receiver elsewhere, that's not an insane asking price, at least to start negotiations. Pittsburgh dealt George Pickens this offseason for a third-round pick, but he is a pending free agent. Olave is under contract control through 2026. New Orleans picked up Olave's fifth-year option, which will bump his cap hit from $6.14 million this season to $15.49 million next year. That's a significant increase for the playmaker, but the Steelers would form a solid tandem with him and DK Metcalf. The issue persists as Pittsburgh's offense continues to struggle with finding consistent roles for its receivers. Bringing Olave onto their roster would be a fantastic addition by Khan, but it doesn't make sense at the price listed by Knox. The team isn't in a position to make a move like that with how shaky their foundation has been during the early portion of the campaign. The Steelers could use some help at the receiver position, but they also cannot forget about the potential future implications regarding the upcoming 2026 NFL draft for their franchise. Khan is likely unwilling to trade picks for the 2026 draft, especially his first-round selection. They want to target a potential franchise quarterback this offseason through the draft process, and they will need high-end selections to have a shot at one. Olave would be a nice pickup, but the cap hit and cost to acquire him don't make sense. They might consider it if the trade price were lower. Defensive end Myles Garrett has posted 13 sacks in his NFL career against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he gets another one in Week 6, he will likely add Aaron Rodgers to his list of quarterbacks he's sacked during his career. Garrett explained to reporters this week that he is strongly looking forward to that opportunity Sunday. "I'd be honored to put him in the graveyard, and definitely a lot of respect for what he's done in his career, because he's special," said Garrett on Friday, via Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot. Garrett's graveyard mention is a reference to the tombstones the defensive end places in his front yard around Halloween. Those tombstones include the names of the quarterbacks he has sacked during his career. Legendary quarterbacks such as Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger are in the graveyard. Top 5 list, top 10 list? Garrett said, "I'm sure Pat Mahomes will be on there. Ben Roethlisberger would be on there. Tom Brady would be on there. Let's see. I think one day Justin Herbert will be in there. He's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, but after that, I don't know. Hell, I don't remember all the names I've sacked. I'm just worried about the next one. Rodgers could be that next one." The 41-year-old quarterback has taken 9 sacks in the first 4 games this season. Myles Garrett aiming to sack Aaron Rodgers. Garrett didn't make as much of an impact as a pass rusher the past 2 weeks. But the Browns' defensive end was off to a hot start to begin 2025. In Week 1, he sacked Cincinnati Bengals' Joe Burrow twice. Garrett then had 1.5 sacks versus the Baltimore Ravens during Week 2. Despite no sacks the past 2 weeks, Garrett is on pace for his 8th consecutive double-digit sack season. Each of the last 5 years, he's made the All-Pro team. 4 of those 5 nominations were to first-team All-Pro. In 14 games against the Steelers, Garrett has posted 13 sacks. The only team he's registered more sacks against is the Bengals, 15. Last season, Garrett had 4 sacks versus the Steelers as he put Russell Wilson in his graveyard. Rodgers praises Garrett ahead of Week 6, while Garrett made it clear he would love to sack Rodgers. The defensive end was highly complimentary of the four-time MVP quarterback. The feeling is mutual for Rodgers. Miles is a Hall of Famer. He might not be in yet, but that's where he's going, Rodgers told reporters. He's one of the few players in the league over my 21 years that you game plan for. He is a special talent, a game wrecker. Rodgers had more yards and touchdowns in Week 1. However, the future Hall of Fame quarterback is coming off his most efficient day as a passer in his young Steelers career. During Week 4, Rodgers went 18 for 22 with 200 passing yards and an 80-yard touchdown. The Steelers may need more of the same from Rodgers to defeat the Browns. Although Cleveland owns a 1-4 record, the Browns have one of the best run defenses in the league. After shutting down the run, Garrett and company then get after opposing quarterbacks. Rodgers has been sacked more than any other quarterback in NFL history. He's on pace for 38 sacks this season. Last year, Rodgers suffered 40 sacks. The Pittsburgh Steelers are expected to be in the trade market as they explore adding players to their team, and the obvious position to do that remains wide receiver. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says the 0-5 New York Jets are already looking for teams to make trades with, and the Steelers could have an easy one to make. Wide receiver Allen Lazard will not play with the team in London after he was ruled out with a personal issue. A former Aaron Rodgers target, the trade for the Steelers would make a lot of sense to add size to the room and a former Rodgers target with built-in chemistry. So far this season, Lazard has just 3 catches, and while he was eager to prove himself away from Rodgers, it might be better for him to settle back into a comfortable pocket. There would be little learning curve for Lazard, too, which would help the Steelers get an instant boost of help to their wide receiver room. Pittsburgh is in need of size in that room outside of DK Metcalf and Ben Skowronek, and Lazard would bring that to the table, with the cost likely be a late day 3 pick that would not hurt their standing in the 2026 NFL Draft at all. The team could shoot for bigger fish, too, but Lazard still might be the likeliest option of them all given his connection to Rodgers.